Another one of the stronger video game adaptations from the Power Rangers franchise is the official game to tie in with the 1995 feature film, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Now the film itself, having come out during the height of Power Rangers popularity, is a bit of a disappointing mess. It's a big screen version of the show, with all the cheesy acting, dialogue, and over-the-top action we know and love from the series, but all of the so bad they're good qualities of the film come to a screeching halt very early on in its runtime, when the Power Rangers lose their powers. At that point, the plot becomes incredibly boring, and the computer-generated effects, which the film relies on more and more as it progresses, make it downright cringeworthy and unwatchable by the end. It's a damn shame. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie on Super Nintendo may share the same name as its big screen counterpart, but it has very little to do with the movie itself. Sure, you take on the alien tyrant Ivan Ooze in the final boss battle within the throne room, previously under the command of the vile Lord Zed, but the rest of the game doesn't make any reference to Ooze or his Oozemen minions seen in the film. Instead, you go up against more of the putty patrollers and several monster villains seen in the second season of the Mighty Morphin TV series, such as Mirror Maniac, Cannon Top, Skelerina, Magnet Brain, and Silverhorns. This game has less in common with the movie and more in common with the other Power Rangers game I reviewed on the SNES. That one was based on Season 1 of the show, and this one is basically modeled after Season 2, so they complement each other quite nicely. The comparisons sorta stop there with me though, because while I find the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game to be a lot of fun, with a satisfying and accessible challenge level for all ages, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie raises the bar way too high with its difficulty. It can be very frustrating and relentless in areas. To get all the footage I wanted for this review, I had to make use of the Invincibility Game Genie code, and unfortunately was only able to play in single player. The game offers multiplayer co-op, the best way to play this game in my opinion, but for whatever reason, whenever I tried to play with my brother, the capture would keep cutting out, and I don't really know why. Anywho, while I don't find Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie to be as fun as the original game, its gameplay is a bit more layered than what we saw in the previous title. The game is still a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but now you are able to jump between the foreground and background, opening up two different paths to simply traverse the levels, reach certain enemies, or get around obstacles without taking damage. It's an interesting mechanic, something different, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't awkward to use. It's just an unnecessary feature this game didn't need to include. You start each of the 7 levels as one of the 6 playable Power Rangers, one more than in the previous game. Billy and Kimberly return as the Blue and Pink Rangers, but Rocky replaces Jason as the Red Ranger, and Adam and Aisha replace Zack and Trini as the Black and Yellow Ranger respectively. The most notable addition is the fan-favorite Tommy, originally the Green Ranger in the TV series, before becoming the legendary and iconic White Ranger. Much like the original Power Rangers game, you start off each stage in the teenager's civilian clothes and have to morph into your Power Rangers costume. However, it's far less satisfying this time around, because you are forced to constantly pick up lightning icons your enemies drop to fill up your power meter next to your character's health. Because you are so preoccupied with picking up these icons, desperately wanting to morph into a Power Ranger, which is when the game is the most fun, I feel you aren't really taking in your surroundings enough. The graphics, the gameplay, icon collecting becomes far too distracting to really enjoy any of it. I wish the levels played more like they did in the first game, which followed a more scripted approach, having you play as the teenagers in their civilian clothes until the stage's boss would appear at the end of the first section. Once you automatically morphed into a Power Ranger, the rest of the level became far more epic, and the pacing was more in line with what it was in the TV series. Here, the whole morphing system was made too complicated. Depending on the difficulty within a level 2, you might not even be able to morph at all, which can be really disheartening. I'm a grown-ass man, and even I am emotionally crushed when this happens. The power is on, my ass it's on. Where did it go? Anyways, when you do end up morphing into your respective Power Ranger, you can continue to fill your power meter with lightning icons. When it fills up a second time, it will begin flashing and slowly deplete. During this brief period, you have access to stronger melee attacks using your hero's special weapon, and can even activate your Power Ranger's ultimate screen clearing move as well. Having all of the cooler and flashier moves locked behind what is essentially an in-game paywall of icon collecting is just terrible. The first game allowed you to use the Ranger's weapons at any time, and they also had a few combos at their disposal as well. Here, they just have single strikes. It's only until you collect enough icons does that change, and it's only for a set period of time. It's all just tedious, a pain in the ass, and honestly, really stupid. While I find some aspects of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie on Super Nintendo to be frustrating and unnecessary, I think the game can still be pretty fun, with its colorful and appealing sprite models and backgrounds, flashy combat moves, optional two-player co-op, and references to the original TV show many of us grew up watching. It is one of the best Power Rangers games ever made, but I don't think I enjoy it as much as a lot of other people do. I would much rather prefer to play through the other SNES title over this one any day of the week. Also, the Genesis version of the game, which is a far more accurate adaptation of the film, though I think we can all agree Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie on SNES, regardless of its flaws, is still a hell of a lot better than the movie itself. Play this instead. I want to thank you all for watching this retro superhero game review. If you've played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie down in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel to support the production of more content like this in the future. I will see you all in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and always stay nerdy.